What's going on, guys? It's Coach D here, back with another sports review. Today we're going to be reviewing why the Clippers get smacked again by another Western Conference, contending team. It's definitely disappointing. It seems like another Western Conference contender that we're losing to. Sacramento, they're starting to get things on track. The past two times that the Clippers have played Sacramento, we've blown them out. We've beaten them by double digits, and they definitely had it on their mind tonight. Mike Brown and the Kings, they had it on their mind tonight for sure. They came in with a great game plan. They came in ready to play, and they executed very well, and they got the W. So we're going to be looking into the reasons that we lost. For me, the two biggest reasons we lost this game is, one, the Sabonis screens. And we probably shouldn't have been surprised because that's kind of how Sacramento runs their offense, but it was killing us today, Sabonis and them screens. And the second reason is, the offense, we just did not play well. And there was some things that Mike Brown and the defense was doing, and we just did not make any adjustments to that all game. And so it ended up costing us. But we're going to go take a look at that and see what happened here. So right now, I want us to take a quick look at the Sabonis screens and what I'm talking about. And the key to these Sabonis screens is going to be that Zubac, our center, is going to stay in the paint. He's going to guard Sabonis from the paint. And because Sabonis is setting screens, now we have, our player now try to fight over that screen. And, that's going to give the Sacramento Kings player a good advantage. So notice here with Keegan Murray, right? Sabonis is going to set this screen on Norman Powell. Keegan's going to come around this screen. Norman's going to try to get over it. But by the time Norman's able to get over this screen, look where Zubac is. Zubac's in the paint. So when he comes over the screen, nobody is there. This is a walk-in, easy shot created by this Sabonis screen. Cash. We're coming here again. Sabonis is going to set the screen on Kawhi. Look where Zubac is. He's in the paint. He's not even going to, come to pretend to show. So Kawhi goes under that screen. Definitely don't want to do that. On a three-point shooter, Harrison Barnes pops it back out. Bang. Here we go again. Now we got Terrence Mann. Sabonis is going to set. Look where Zubac is. He's in the paint. Sabonis is setting the screen. Terrence is going to end up going under this. You probably don't want to do that. Wide open shot for De'Aaron Fox. Cash. Here we go again. Right. Now we got Tice in the mix. We running another Sabonis screen. Tice is a little bit up, but now they're going to run pick and roll. He's going to drive, find Sabonis right over top. Easy. Now, Daniel Tice, he was able to maybe show a little bit more than Zubac did, right? He's up. He's not in the paint. He's up. But because he's a little undersized, it makes it very easy to throw the ball right over him to Sabonis, right? So that's what we were dealing with all night. Just keep that in mind. This whole Sabonis, Zubac being in the paint, Sabonis setting the screen, and you're going to see over the course of the game how this is just killing the Clippers all night. Now, we already looked at what the Clippers were kind of dealing with on defense. Now let's take a look at what they were dealing with on offense. Kawhi Leonard on the night, he shot 20. He went 28 and 3. 38% from field goal range. That's 7 of 18. 0 for 3 from 3, 0%. That is not a good game from Kawhi Leonard. That's not going to be good enough to beat, good teams. And I feel like Sacramento at the 5th seed, you can call them a good team or a decent to good team, right? And that's not going to be good enough, especially with Paul George out. James Harden is going to go 25 and 8, okay? But he did it on 30% from the floor. And 2 of 10 from 3, 20%. That's not probably going to cut it either. But let's look at what Sacramento was doing to make Kawhi and Harden have such a hard night. One thing I want you to notice, especially when the starters are on the floor, it looks like we almost have no offense. Like we have no natural offense. It looks like we're just just out there trying things. And Sacramento's doing a lot of double teaming on Kawhi and James Harden, and that's making things very hard for them to get a good shot, right? And it's really disrupting the offense, and we made no adjustment to that. So we're going to come here. If you've been watching the past video that we did for the Timberwolves, you know that the Clippers always have horrible starts to halves. The first quarter, in the beginning of the first quarter, in the beginning of the third quarter, the Clippers always start bad, and tonight was no different with the Kings. They started extremely bad. These are going to be their first 5 possessions here. We're going to start with James Harden. This is an out-of-bounds call from Ty Lue, and I guess Zubac is supposed to be, I don't know, trying to have like some type of trick play or something like that. He's going to pretend. He's not even going to set a screen, right, to get De'Aaron Fox off James Harden. He's going to, like, pretend like he's going to set a screen, like, ooh, gotcha. Like, you see that? He's like, he thought I was going to set a screen. And then he starts running away from Sabonis, and De'Aaron just smacks the ball out the air. And they end up going the other way. We come the second time down. Terrence makes a great pass to James Harden. James Harden's going to drive, kick this to Kawhi. I guess he's open. I wanted James to just go ahead and take this all the way. But I guess he saw Kevin, and Kevin does not scare me. He should have just took this all the way. But he passes it to Kawhi. Kawhi's going to take it. And I just want you to notice, here comes the double team from Keegan Murray. Sabonis is in the paint. Keegan Murray comes off, right? The entire night, Sacramento was double-teaming Kawhi Leonard. They were double-teaming James Harden when he ran the pick and roll. They're just leaving people open, and it doesn't matter who it is. They're going to put 4 bodies, or almost the whole team is going to collapse and crowd that paint, and that's what a lot of teams are doing now to Kawhi Leonard, right, and making him take these tough jumpers. There's 2 hands in his face right here. This is a tough jumper, and guess what he does? He misses. So that's just not good offense. We come here, and once again, as you see, Kawhi, he tries to run some pick and roll. Zoo doesn't roll. He gets stuffed. And then you got Sabonis riding Kawhi. Kawhi's just running this into, look, Keegan Murray. Now you got 3 people around you. Now notice, Terrence Mann is wide open. James Harden is wide open, right? But because Kawhi has 3 people on him, leads to a turnover. Can't find him. Here, Kawhi's trying to initiate. He sees a soft double team, right, when he runs the pick and roll. So he decides to pass it out. He passes it out to Norm. Norm drives in. Good defense from Keegan Murray. Tries to make a bad pass to Zubac, and it gets picked off. Once again, out of the double team. Now we have James Harden here. Kevin Huerter is soft, double teaming. You got Sabonis in the paint. Kawhi's not helping with the spacing right now. So he decides to just go ahead and toss it over to Terrence. Can Terrence knock down this shot? Yes. Is he going to knock it down? No. That's not the shot that you want. And what I want us to notice in all of these, does it look like the Clippers are running an offense? Does it look like we're doing anything, any motion, any running around, nothing? Are we breaking down the defense? No. And that was going on all night until you start mixing in, the bench units and different type of stuff like that, where you get the weaker Sacramento defenders on the floor. But with the starters, they were doing this all night, and it led to really, really, really bad starts for the Clippers. And we were not making any type of adjustment to this. So we see how the Clippers started their third quarter. They had a terrible start. Sacramento did not. And once again, it's going to come behind these Sabonis screens. Here, this is a great call from Mike Brown, first play out of halftime. It's really like a disguised Sabonis screen for Keegan Murray, but it turns out being for Kevin Huerter, and that's going to catch Norman Powell off guard there. So Keegan's going to end up coming around, right? But the play isn't for him. It's actually for Kevin. And Kevin, once he starts running, Norm's kind of caught off guard. Zubac is going to be in the paint. So when Sabonis sets this screen, great screen, Norm's not able to get there. Kevin Huerter for three. So we're coming back down on the other side. Kevin Huerter's going to screen Zubac, per se. So Terrence Mann is going to switch on to Sabonis. But Zubac, wanting to guard in the paint, he stays with Sabonis and leaves Kevin Huerter wide open for another three. Bang. We're coming down here. It's going to be, notice Zubac is in the paint. James Harden is going to get faked out. He's going to drive in. Harrison Barnes makes this as a version of pick and roll, you could say. It's going to make the bounce pass, and Sabonis is going to put Zubac in the basket. Now, we see here Ty Lue is trying to make some type of adjustment. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's Kawhi. But Kawhi is now going to guard Sabonis. So that way when Sabonis sets his screen, they're just going to switch. They're not going to deal with this whole drop coverage. Somebody's standing in the paint, somebody's wide open. They're not going to do that anymore. So Kawhi's guarding him. The screen is going to come, but he's looking at Zoo. Kawhi's a little confused. He's not in good position. And then Zubac goes right into the paint. So now we have a man wide open. Harrison Barnes, bang. So now that's 9 points right there. The game's kind of getting away from the Clippers. And you can see once again, it's all this confusion guarding these screens, Zubac being in drop coverage, whatever you want to call it. It's causing the Clippers big problems, and it's causing them the game to slip away. Now, the Clippers are able to eventually get things rolling. James Harden and Russell Westbrook really helped. And even Kawhi, they all helped really push. They're trying to, close the gap. We're down 5 points here. But once again, it's going to be Sabonis in these screens. And this time, it's not going to be De'Aaron Fox. It's going to be Malik Monk. Malik Monk really took over the fourth with these Sabonis screens and really helped keep the game out of reach. We're going to see here. He's going to get this. Here's the Sabonis screen. Zubac is far off, right, in drop coverage. Malik's going to come over, drop pass to Sabonis, layup. So here we go. We got Malik Monk again. Amir's going to try to go under the screen. We saw Kawhi make that same mistake in the first quarter. You can't do that. Malik pops up for three. Bang. We were down 5 right there. That's a very crucial basket. Just not being able to close the gap all the way. Here we go again. Going to use, notice, Zubac's far away. He's almost in the paint. So Malik comes around. He gets the step. And he's just going to hit this nice little floater right over Zubac into the basket. And Zubac's going to yell at Amir here. I don't know what he wants Amir to do. Because if you're getting screened, I go over the screen. That's what I have to do. Malik Monk has a step on me. At this point, it's either going to be a foul. I can't get in front of him right now. All right? And he just hits the floater over you. And here we go again. Now we try to make the adjustment. Right? Once again, you see Kawhi. He's on Sabonis. But notice, Zubac, there's some type of confusion. Every time they do this, there's some type of confusion. I don't know if this is Ty Lue making a call or Kawhi's just saying, forget this type of thing. I'm going to guard Sabonis. But the communication with Zubac is always bad because he never goes and picks up Kawhi's man. So once again, he's just in the paint. And that means somebody is wide open. James Harden goes to pick up Malik, but now you're leaving Harrison Barnes wide open for 3. Bang. It's what is going on? So that's how the Clippers ended up. We couldn't close that fourth quarter gap, and that gap that really got started in that third quarter. And just to put the icing on the cake, De'Aaron Fox is going to end it with another pick and roll. Terrence is playing good defense. He's here. You got shook a little bit. But here comes this screen, and look where Zubac is. deep in the paint. So when Fox comes around the screen, nobody's there, floater. And at that point, Ty Lue just said, all right, y'all got it. And so there was no adjustment to that all night. Just the Sabonis screens were killing the Clippers all night long. So that was the game. And one of the things that I failed to mention, pretty significant, Paul George didn't play this game, so obviously that's going to have a big impact offensively and defensively. I just think the Clippers, we still could have won this game. You still have James Harden. You still have Kawhi Leonard. And with adjustments, to what Sacramento was doing, you would have been able to pull off this game. It was still close, very late, even without Paul George. But we did not make any adjustments to the Sabonis screens or the Sabonis pick and roll. And one thing that Ty Lue usually does, he usually just takes Zubac off the floor and just goes small. And that makes everything, now you're just switching everything. Now you don't have somebody standing in the paint, leaving somebody wide open or giving the person an advantage when they come over the screen, nobody's there. That is over with. Once you go small ball, now everybody just guard their man. If they run a screen, just switch, right? Switch who you're guarding. So that's usually how he does it. Maybe because Paul George was out, maybe he decided, I don't trust it. But that's usually how he solves it. And usually it's always a problem. When we're going against dynamic guards like De'Aaron Fox, like Luka Doncic, like Donovan Mitchell, that can cause a lot of problems for us if they come over those screens and nobody's there. Zubac's either in the paint or in drop coverage because they're going to shoot that three, or they're going to drive to the basket, a free run to the basket, and they're so good, it's going to cause a lot of problems. So usually he goes small, but like I said, maybe because Paul George is out, he decided not to do it. The other takeaway that I have from the game is that the recipe is out now. When it comes to the good teams in the West, they know, okay, if we're going to beat the Clippers, we're going to pack the paint, and we're going to make Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and whoever else, we're going to double team them and make them shoot tough jumpers all night. We're not going to let them ISO. We're not going to let them go one-on-one. If they do, we're going to be having 4 people in the paint, 3 people in the paint waiting for them. And so the Clippers really, with that being the case, you have to really emphasize, in my opinion, the solution is emphasizing James Harden being the point guard. James Harden, even though he did not shoot very well today, he still was playmaking a lot and creating good shots because they're double teaming. And unlike Kawhi, because James is a point guard, he can find the pass. He can make the good pass, right, to break down the defense and punish whoever they're cheating off of. And that's what Kawhi needs to focus on more, finding that pass, not just shooting contested jumpers over 2 people. But, when he's shooting 50, 40, 90 and he's in the MVP conversation, then, yeah, it looks fine. But against good teams, right, and especially right now that he's cooled off a little bit, now it doesn't look fine because now he's not hitting at that high clip anymore. So now your offense is really taking a hit. So we really need to emphasize James, and we need to have more off-ball movement. If you see it, if your man leaves you, move over so you can be ready for the pass, right? Call for the ball, stuff like that we need to do. Either that's going to be the solution, emphasizing James being the point guard so he can break down the defense, or how Ty Lue solves both of these problems, he usually just goes small. And when you go small and you put 5 people on the three-point line, instead of having Zubac in the paint where the opposing team can start making a campsite in the paint because Zubac's always going to be there, once you take him off the floor and you go 5 out, 5 on the three-point line, now they can't be in the paint at all. If they do, it's going to be a 3-second call. And if they do, they're going to be too far away from whoever's in that corner or whoever's at the three-point line to get out to contest. So now that makes things so much easier for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. When they get by a defender, if they see another body, they know somebody's wide open on the three-point line. So now it's just swing, three. But one of the downsides to small ball is the rebounding. And we already struggle with rebounding. We already struggle with rim protection. So when you go small, you're really risking it. But it opens up so many things for our offense, and it stops that pick and roll on the other side. So we got to figure out what we want to do. But obviously what we've been doing, the Kawhi Leonard and Paul George point guard stuff, and the drop coverage, that stuff is not going to work. It's not going to work, and we're going to lose. So we need to fix these things, and we'll see. We have the Lakers on Wednesday, and we'll see what Ty Lue comes up with, but we definitely need to get back on track. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. This is Coach D. Y'all be blessed. I'm on to another one.